Hello and welcome, my dear friends. If you leave this message now, you face problems. In next 24 hours, you need to understand what is about to shift in your life, and it begins with this single day. If you're hearing this now, it's for a reason. Something has felt different lately, hasn't it? Like your ordinary rhythm is being quietly disrupted. It's not chaos. It's guidance. For the one who senses this change, it might feel like a subtle pressure in your spirit, a quiet knowing that the familiar path is no longer yours to walk. You're not imagining it. Your entire direction is being recalibrated. Think of the last time you felt completely sure about a plan, only to have your certainty dissolve overnight. The excitement just vanished. Or when you walked into your usual cafe, your usual spot, and it suddenly felt like you no longer belonged there. The surroundings were the same, but you had changed. That's the first signal. Before your outer world transforms, your inner world must first reject what no longer fits. The music you love now feels empty. The conversations you used to join now drain your energy. You're not becoming negative. You're being prepared. This is what happens right before a divine redirection. And this is why you might feel a peculiar anticipation, that in the coming hours, something is going to intervene in your story. Not to harm you, but to spare you. Not to create confusion, but to prevent you from choosing correctly in the wrong chapter of your life. Imagine a chessboard. From above, all the pieces seem fixed. But one move, one single square shifted, changes the entire endgame. The board doesn't shatter. The pieces don't fly off the table. Just one deliberate, quiet adjustment. That is the nature of this moment. Not a quake, but a pivot. For many of you, the next day is not about a blinding miracle. It's a doorway. A space where small choices carry the weight of entire futures. One reply you send, one call you answer, one instinct you finally trust, this is where your path divides. So what does this intervention look like in reality? It can be the missing piece of information finally reaching you, making every previous confusion make sense. You weren't lost, you were uninformed. It can be an annoying delay that later reveals itself as protection, keeping you from a collision you never saw coming. It can be a person from your past reappearing, not to offer closure, but to show you their true character so you can finally stop questioning your own judgment. Sometimes the guidance is a surprising yes. But often, it's a firm no that guards your tomorrow. These course corrections aren't always about adding something new. Sometimes they are about a necessary removal, stripping away what would have slowly consumed your light. If you've spent years trying to maintain stability, to force consistency, to keep everyone comfortable, this is where you feel the strain. You've been attempting to hold your life together through sheer will. But a life in alignment doesn't require that kind of effort. It holds itself together. These shifts feel intense precisely because they don't come with a manual. They arrive as a feeling. A knot in your stomach when you consider staying the course. A deep peace when you think about letting go. A surge of clarity at 3 a.m., as if your soul is awake before your body. You might become fiercely protective of your time and attention. That's not you becoming closed off. It's you becoming accurate. Understand this clearly, you are not being interrupted for the sake of drama. You are being repositioned for purpose. Some of you are one decision away from a commitment that would have cost you 12 months of your life. You were about to agree out of obligation. To stay out of exhaustion. To continue out of pure habit. To remain in a room that has grown blind to your worth. This disruption is grace. The quiet shift is not a loss of control. It is the arrival of precision. So, what is your move when you sense this pivotal day? Do not fear. Do not scramble. And do not renegotiate with yesterday. Get starkly honest. Notice what feels unnecessarily heavy. Notice what feels urgent but unimportant. See which interactions leave you centered and which leave you fragmented. Watch for the patterns. The same obstacle appearing twice. The same message from two different sources. The same truth you tried to ignore, knocking again. And then, move with pure alignment, not frantic emotion. This means if you're prompted to wait, you wait without apology. If you're prompted to act, you act without over-justifying. If you're prompted to be still, you be still without rushing to fill the silence. Here is the key: the change won't always arrive as a grand spectacle. It will come as a simple, almost overlookable moment that alters everything. Your response when that moment arrives, dressed in ordinary clothes, is everything. It rarely announces itself with fanfare. It slips in like a single grain of sand in your shoe. Nothing seems broken, but every step feels awkward until you stop and empty it. That is how guidance gets your attention, with dignity, not disaster. So in this doorway period, don't spend the day hunting for spectacular signs. Observe what is already repeating. The same hesitation. The same topic resurfacing. The same internal check when you try to proceed as if nothing has changed. Sometimes, a tiny disruption reveals a massive truth. You send a text and, for once, don't chase a reply. The silence that follows teaches you about the connection. You receive random reminders about an old task, as if life is pulling your focus back to your own foundation. You get an invitation and your entire being says, no, before your mouth can form a polite excuse. That isn't a mood. It's discernment. You now know what to do. The instant your normal flow is disturbed, you slow your reactions. Not your life, just your impulses. You pause before you respond. You pause before you fix. You pause before you explain. Because many people miss their purpose by moving too quickly, not by choosing incorrectly. Ask yourself 3 honest questions, swiftly and without drama. What am I doing merely from routine? What am I doing to avoid unease? What is the clearest, simplest next move I can make? Then, take that one clean step. Not 10. Just 1. This is vital. Divine redirection often simplifies. The clutter falls away. The noise quiets. The way forward seems almost too straightforward to be significant. But that is the point. When something is truly for you, it doesn't require you to convince your own soul to accept it. You are not lost. You are being found by your own path. There's a reason you've stopped explaining yourself so much. You are learning to move without an audience. Picture a skilled musician tuning a stringed instrument. They pluck one string, listening intently. Most notes ring true. One sounds flat. The instrument looks fine, but the musician knows that one untuned string will ruin the entire song. So they adjust it, carefully, without fuss. That is this season. Your spirit is listening, and you're hearing the flat notes. The commitment that looks good on paper but feels wrong in your heart. The relationship that exists but doesn't energize. Not every disruption is a new task. Some are a clear exit. And you don't miss an exit because you were trying to be polite. So, here is your stance for the next 24 hours. Remain calm. Move more slowly than your feelings. Speak with certainty. Choose what keeps your spirit whole. Share this with someone who has felt this subtle, unsettling shift, not for hype, but for clarity. We make wiser choices when we can finally define what we're experiencing. You are not losing your grip. You are being guided to firmer ground. And when the pivot comes, when the path clears, when the next step appears, you won't need a loud sign to recognize it. You'll know because your soul will finally be at peace with your schedule. That is your confirmation. It's not dramatic. It's real, and it changes everything. Thank you for being here. If this connected with you, please like this video and follow the channel God Speaks Today for more. Your awakening journey continues. Choose one of the videos you see now that calls to you. I'll see you in the next one.